Peoples, welcome back to On the Mic with them.
Auntie.
Today, ladies, can you bring more to the table than just your looks and sex? It's more than that.
What is it? And we want to know why. Like, we just like, Because it's as superficial as it sounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is sex and looks not enough? I feel like the question has to be explored and answered.
Let me just, for men. For men, the first thing that attracts us to you is your looks. We don't know about sex. We know your looks. You look good.
Absolutely.
So from that point, we're going to say, hey, and depending on how you look, it kind of in the back of our mind, like, do I want to talk to her to kind of get to know her? Do I want to talk to her because I want to bang it? Or, I don't really know. So I'm just going to talk to her and see where she falls in the paradigm.
Right.
But, once I kind of talk to you, I say, oh, she ain't really that bright, but she is fine, though.
Mm-hmm.
And she got a nice booty on her.
Oh, so in other words, as soon as I open up my mouth and
I
engage in that conversation, right, that adds to the attraction.
Oh, yeah. Because
or it takes away.
It depends.
Right? It can
That's
add
true.
to or it can take away.
Exactly. Because for us, you fine and you smart.
Shit. So now you're like super attractive, right?
Yes.
Because it's a difference between being like fine and then being like attractive to someone, right? And for a mature person, like going into a relationship, you want to make certain that the person who you're dealing with is like attracted to you, right?
Absolutely.
More than just like, oh no, my girl, she's a nice looking woman, like, because a lot of people are nice looking. Right? No,
exactly.
you want to be attracted to that person.
Absolutely. And then from there, you kind of judge where you want to go. That means you talk, you conversate. Also, that doesn't mean swipe left and right. That means actually you need to talk, which is the shit that pissed me off now. This whole, I can swipe left and right. Motherfucker, you can look at her picture, but you don't know her. How do you know somebody by swiping?
That's the first thing we just talked about, right? If they're nice looking, but you don't know, like, if they're really attractive to you, right?
Exactly. Because I'm hearing a lot of people say, she was fine when I was swiping through, and then I talked to her. She dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Or she ain't got nothing going on.
Yeah.
But
or there's nothing in common.
No, because you text. The problem is you texting all the time. Like, oh, she's good on text. Well, fuck it. You got time on text. So you can sound good on text.
Yep.
But when she started talking to you, you started dimming and dumbing and she like, oh, that ain't what I thought. Well, no, she texted you.
Or you like a fast life. And I maybe like a little more of a slow paced life.
Absolutely.
Right? But when we just chilling, kicking it, and we're just texting, throughout the day, right, the pace is sort of kind of what we create it to be as opposed to the reality, right?
Absolutely.
So we really don't get to know each other until we really, sit down, kick it, and, exchange a conversation with each other.
Absolutely. And then by that time, we're like, okay, then we're going to try to gauge you. So, okay, she got some sense. She's pretty. She's going places.
Or she don't got sense.
Or she don't got sense.
Right?
Oh, Lord. If she don't got sense, then you're just saying, how long is it going to take before I get to the booty? Or how many licks does it take for me to get to the center of the
Or maybe you're just trying to get out of this situation.
That could
right?
also be true.
Because not every situation you want to touch. Like, you might want to dodge some bullets out here.
Yes, and you want to ask those critical questions like, you have any kids?
How is that the most critical question, though?
Shit,
How is that the first one?
Number
That's
12.
the first thing you're going to ask the girl. You got any kids? Say!
Hey.
I mean, lie at that point, ladies, and run. That's the first thing you wanted to know is you got, wow.
Hey, I got to find out.
That was right to it.
Got to.
Because you probably have, like, just as many as I have.
Possibly.
But,
because for us, I'm going to look at you and say, damn. Especially at a certain age, you get to your late 20s or 30s, you're going to say, damn, she probably may have one kid. Maybe.
Okay.
I'm assuming, but I may be wrong. But I want to ask. I don't want to just get all wrapped up in you. And
it should come up in the conversation, I would assume. At least by the second date.
Producer.
Wouldn't that come up in conversation? No? Okay. He said, and he did it. It was strong, yeah. It was real strong.
Yeah, it was
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So now ask that just to make it the first question. Like, and you don't have to beat around the bush, but like in an organic conversation, like the first thing you're gonna say is, "Yeah, so how many kids you got?" No.
Damn, girl, you got really nice hair, and I think your house is really pretty. You got any kids? I think that's how the conversation goes.
Like that.
I think, but
that's fair.
We've been talking, and I feel like I might get some heat for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Women set themselves up for failure.
Oh,
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna
Here
tell
we
you why.
go.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Come on.
What the conversation started and said, what else do I need to bring besides sex and looks, right? When you get older, naturally your looks decline, regardless of if you're a man or a woman,
Yes.
right?
That's true.
So if you bring looks and sex to the table, your looks go away eventually, right?
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent,
Yes.
and you still, ideally, if you find the right person,
some grandmas who kept it
right,
together,
who keep it together.
Yeah.
But more than likely, most people are going to deteriorate with age.
I mean, everybody
Absolutely.
is.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, ideally, you find somebody who's attracted to you regardless. That's the hope, that you're with somebody who's not superficial as a woman, as a man.
Right.
That,
Right.
like,
That's the idea of how you're going to get there.
Exactly. Like, you ideally want to have somebody who, like, even when you start getting older, they're like, nah, she's just as beautiful to me as the day that I met her. He's just as handsome to me as the day that I met him.
Because you just still as genuine.
Right.
More than just your looks.
Exactly. But let's say he only likes you for your looks, right?
Right.
And your looks deteriorate. So now that's 1 out of 2 down.
Yep.
So now you have a sex. A lot of times women will state as you have kids or as you get older, life stresses happen. Sex kind of, I don't really need to have sex every day. Kind of tired today. I don't really want to do this. Because your hormones are out of whack.
I don't know about that yet.
I'm not speaking
I'm
on
uncertain.
you.
I didn't say no. I didn't. What? I thought a woman's libido increases as she gets older.
No.
Well, it climaxes at around 40.
Yeah, 40.
Okay, and then what are y'all trying to claim the men is doing at that age? Because,
Well,
no. So here's what I'm
what are
saying.
we talking about here?
So no. Here's what I'm saying. Not that like all of a sudden women's just not going to do sex. What I'm saying is that there's a lot of women who will naturally kind of feel pressure to have sex with their men when they're in the dating phase until they get the ring. Because they're not really that kind of people, right? But if you bring sex and looks to the table, your looks going to go away eventually, and you stop giving sex, then you're in a relationship with a guy sitting there wondering, what the fuck am I getting out of this?
So can I kind of regurgitate what you said, what I heard you said? So are you saying that perhaps in the dating phase you're more willing to pull out the tricks, and then when you're settled down, the love life is just a little more settled? Okay, well, I mean,
and that's fine. But here's the thing.
I don't like that face, but I guess I can agree. I guess I have to agree. Yeah, because I can't be like
you can't just be
hanging off the chandelier. Like, the kids are sleeping too.
Absolutely.
Like, come on.
There's kids sleeping like, oh, we just came from work. We both had work today. Like, nigga, I'm tired. You tired? Like, and we just trying to go bed type shit. But the problem becomes is that if you doing climbing the ceiling every night when y'all dating, and then you get married and you're like, nah, my bones hurt. I'm not even supposed to be. I hate heights. I just was doing it initially, but like, fuck all that.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna feel to a guy like a bait and switch. Like, okay, you was doing all this before the ring. Then I gave you the ring, and now I ain't got shit to show for it.
Yeah, no, that was a bait and switch. I got you, bitch.
Right, got you, bitch.
Got him. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It makes sense why that happens, but I think that's where it falls apart.
Yeah, so that's that whole idea where you really need to secure that something more is being brought there, right? Because the sex, like on both sides of the table, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be out there doing the most, right? While you're doing the do. And eventually, like, no, I got to go work 40, 60 hours this week. I'm not doing all of those tricks this week. I'm not doing all that.
And that is true. But if it's based on those two things.
If it's based on sex only.
Ooh.
And the sex is going to do what sex do. It's going to be great. And then it's just going to be, it's going to be just all right. Sometimes it's just all right.
Yeah. And for guys, we get to that point where.
Y'all just all right. Like.
Oh, no. We're like, you done yet? Oh, what? Oh yeah. Yeah, you done. You keep going yet. Like, should be another 2-3 seconds. I should be done. But, for guys, we go through that thing because we get older. Guys, take care of yourselves. Stay healthy. Eat right. Because if you don't eat right, you're gonna have that problem.
See, and that goes to the woman that you're attracting, right? So you attract the right woman, and she will make certain that you are eating right? That we are taking care of ourselves as a couple or as a family, right? Lead how the family kind of conducts themselves in the world and what we're consuming and how we're kind of going about. Basically, the lifestyle that we as a family are living.
And I think that's kind of it is a great point, but I think that also goes back to like the conversation. What do you bring to the table? Part of that, ideally, when you find a woman, is you find somebody who helps direct the family.
Yes.
Like she makes sure that like you go to that damn doctor's appointment.
Yep.
That
She
you
made
like,
it.
oh,
and she
you was
took off
complaining
for
about your
work
back.
'cause I'm in the car with you.
Yeah.
Because
nah,
your
I
ass can
trust
never
you.
remember what the fuck they say, so now I'm gonna go with you.
You come home, I mean, what did the doctor say?
he said,
I don't know, nothing.
now you're gonna show up at the next one.
Yeah, I'm showing up at all of them now because now you can't be trusted, right? But we create this lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And you have to bring more than the sex and the looks to the don't leave those off, right? Because that would be dumb.
No,
that would be dumb.
No, and the thing is, that's a part of it. It's
That's
a part
absolutely
of the puzzle.
a part of it.
You got the entire puzzle. It's not like two pieces, sex and looks, but it's a part of the overall puzzle. And I think a lot of people don't really think about it because you get tied up in the emotional part of it. You know, the looks and she fine and all this. But again, if you decide to keep her, or she decides to keep you, or you decide to keep each other.
No, I mean, we're talking specifically about the woman. That's fine.
Yes, so she decides to be, okay, I'm going to go ahead and roll with. Then you have to bring more than just that.
Yes, you do.
And if you can't bring anything more than that, you should not be dating anybody. You should be figuring out who you are, which is another thing. Women need to get themselves right or straight or know who they are before they start bringing somebody else to their tomfoolery, their fuckery, because you come to us as a complete package. We said that on previous podcast that you have to be a complete person before you decide to get into any relationship. You should be. So when you present yourself, you should be the complete package. Not, this is kind of where I am, and maybe he can add or fill in the parts of me that I'm not too cool with.
Right.
That's not his job. His job is to love you for who you are.
I think that whole idea.
It's the job for both sides is to love each other for who they are. The problem is that women think they can change their niggas, and men think that she's supposed to be. And that's the issue. If you're constantly thinking he or she is cool if and only if, or it would be really really nice if she. It'd be really really nice if he. Nah, then you already batting 1,000 because what you've
potential digging.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. I've heard women over the years say that exact same quote that the producer just said. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. But this, but that, but this. But I'll change him.
It's like the idea of us building together being distorted. Right? Because the idea of somebody like completing me, right? Or us growing together, right? Because someone who's not in the situation, right? You're not growing with someone. Perhaps you see a couple who's gotten older and you see what they've kind of accumulated over the years, and you're thinking, maybe I can acquire such things as well, right? Maybe I can acquire real estate and go on nice trips, but only if I had someone else to help me do those things. Because I got a decent job. I can manage funds and all those things, but you're thinking only if I had someone to do those things with me. So now you're out searching for, a life partner to help acquire, things with, as opposed to searching for a life partner to basically serve, right? You have it backwards, right? Which you two come together and choose and are able to build, right, and grow to, right? That's great. But that shouldn't be like the thing that dictates why you're looking for someone else, because then it truly is like, well, what are you bringing to the table? And do you understand what you're bringing to the table? Is that really of value for the other partner?
Absolutely. And men generally don't change overnight. You pretty much see what you get. There's always room for change. You can always change something. But what you see pretty much is what he is.
Yeah, I want to say, y'all don't change at all. Like, what you talking about? At what age that you're meeting this man? Like, you meet a guy over the age of 30. I don't know what changes that man is going to. And perhaps he becomes enlightened about, like, maybe the music he wants to listen to, right? Perhaps he becomes enlightened about, his food choices, or maybe, his gym habits. Like, small things like that. But overall, his personality, his morals, his standards in life, those tend to be set in stone for, basically the adult.
And that's why women have to understand that no matter how much you put on him or what you do to him, unless he's willing to change it, he's never going to change. Same thing with women. You're not going to change. If I say, you know what, you got a little stank attitude you need to work on. Now, if you don't think it's a stank attitude, you're not going to work on it. He'll get used to it.
And so that goes right back to that 80-20 rule, right? Like, either you're going to accept that and chop that up to basically that 20% that, I'm not able to give to you, and the 80% that I do give, that fills you all the way, or you got to carry on. You can't stick around with somebody who you only feel like they're giving you, 30%, 40% of what you need, and you're hoping for, that other 40% to kind of be that potential that builds and that he changes into. Like, oh, one day, he'll get himself together. Oh, one day, he'll get a better job. Oh, one day, you just no. What we doing today? That's what we have to be willing to accept people at. And
absolutely. Growth
is great, but if you're not okay with where like the woman is at right there, then what you gonna do? Like, what?
Now you have to make a decision.
What are you gonna do? Because she is who she is in essence, right?
God, that's so true. And
she is who she is.
That's true. Now you have to ask yourself, God damn, do I want to spend the time and the effort?
So I think what ends up fucking up, it's funny that you were going where you were going, makes a lot of sense. People, I feel like that's where the dating of younger women come from men. Is the false idea that if you date somebody older, right, she's already kind of set in her ways. So if she's not really a motherly type, or she's not really a homemaker, she's more of a go-getter. Then you meet her, you 35, you meet her at 35, you're going to deal with her however the fuck she is, right? So now you're trying to find somebody who's of that age who's going to be able to kind of slide in with what you need. Right? Just like women trying to find a guy who kind of slide in with what they need. Problem is that if she's 35 and single, she's probably not gonna be the person that you looking for. Not because she's older, but because if she's not a homemaker at that point, she's probably not gonna become one. Just like if a guy's not able to provide for himself at 35 years old, he probably not gonna be able to provide for both of y'all after that.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, it's just not gonna happen.
You probably should
run.
You're
always on the sidelines delivering those cold hard truths.
because we have to. Because we are looking at a shattered dating world. It's a war. By the way, people, I have a fatigue because it's a war that we're in. It's a war, and I don't even understand why we're in this war. It's like if you come to the table,
it's like a control piece too, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Like, caught up in the chaos and the frenzy, you can't really do anything else.
Oh God!
But be chaotic and in a frenzy.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Everybody. I've talked to people from age 30 to age 60 who are going through the same problem, which is crazy because you think 30 will have a certain problem, 40-ish will have 50 and 60 will have their own different problems.
You mean amongst singles dating?
Yes.
Okay.
You would think there would be different because a 30-year-old will have a certain set of problems than a 60-year-old. The 60-year-old basically live their lives and they're looking for a certain type of person. But the 20 to 30 to 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds are having the same problems. So what the fuck? It's like, literally, I'm talking to them and they're talking to me. I talked to a guy recently and he said he's been married for 15 years and he shouldn't have gotten married. And
he should not
have gotten married.
15 years ago.
15 years ago, he said he shouldn't have gotten married, but he got tricked. He said, she was beautiful. She was
Here we go with the trick bags.
Yep.
Come on, give it to me. Now, I need to hear about this
I was going to say it. And I ain't using no names because he'll know when he sees, like, oh, that's me. He said, I married her 15 years ago. She was fine. She was doing all this stuff for him. She was cooking and all that. And then all of a sudden, year 2, she stopped cooking. She stopped looking. It's fine, taking care of herself. And I was like, what did she do? He said, well, she's a military person.
Okay.
So she stopped doing all that. And he said, well, thought maybe, once she got out that she'd do differently. Well, she got out and became a police officer. And he said, this got worse and worse. He got to a point now, he said, he looked at her and he's like, this is not even the person that I married. And I said, well, why are you still there? He said, I'm scared to leave because I'm scared at my age and he's 50 to leave and try to find someone else. He said, because the women I've seen out here, it could be another trick bag. It could be they look this way and I hook up with them and now I end up here. He said, but I am not happy. I'm married, but I should be married. I should have never married her because she tricked me.
Is she? Why? She did not trick him.
Wow. Well, if you do something while you're dating,
if you do something
period, while you're dating, and then you get married, and then you stop doing the thing that you did before you were dating, I'm thinking ideally what you do in dating should be an analog for what the marriage should look like.
Well, I think she was doing it for the first 2 years of the marriage as well. I think what ended up happening, she too was in the service. Mm-hmm. She separated from the military. Did she retire from the military? Mm-hmm. So she secured one retirement and she wanted to secure a second retirement. That's what she's basically doing. And that's a conversation for family planning. They kind of missed that right there, right? Mm-hmm. It sounds like he didn't need that extra bag that she wanted to go out and secure.
No.
And what you sacrifice or what the woman sacrifices in the workforce, you are sacrificing something. Mm-hmm. If you're not at home all day, you go out, you work, you're too tired to come home now and cook and clean and tend to and, let me, bring you down, kind of like cater to the man type of thing. Like, no, I don't feel like it. Because first of all, you talking about she left out of the service to go be a full-time police officer?
Yes.
No, see, first of all, no.
That's a different type of stress.
That's a different type of stress. Mm-hmm. And now you talking about some go be stressed out and disrespected by, the general community and come home and, be your wife, like, and be soft and do the cooking and clean. That was poor family planning. And sometimes in relationships, poor family planning can feel like disrespect, but perhaps that wasn't the intention. So you got to kind of tread carefully there, because this nightmare that he's feeling in the right now, it might be something that you are delivered from in your retirement, and you might have the best years of your life being married to that woman.
Yeah, but damn, I've been together for 13 fucking years. I ain't seen shit.
I just don't know.
I know,
that's
but
I'm saying.
Based on the story that we were provided.
Yeah, no, she did miss the mark. They missed the mark is what I'm saying.
Yep.
And I don't think that she did anything, with deceit. Like, I don't think she pulled any wolves over the man's head, but perhaps it just didn't dawn on them that when she go back into the workforce, like, she's not going to be able to provide for the household the way that he's wanting to be provided for, especially a man from that, generation. Like,
and we've talked about it before. Like, it was a couple podcasts ago, and I don't even think it's out. I think it's one of those podcasts we have in the can. We talked about a study that I told you guys that I saw on Reddit, how they were grading what you thought you were doing well in terms of points. Yeah. And I think this is a really good example of how two people think they're providing something. Yeah. And it's a net negative for both.
Yeah.
Like, she's thinking, I'm bringing a couple extra dollars into the house. Yeah. Like, I got a motivation. I'm driven. Like, I'm really enjoying what I do, blah, blah, blah. And he's sitting there like, damn, you really just straight up hold me out of my dinner, my good looking wife. And you just run around here just being a piece of shit.
You're being regular.
You're right.
Or you out here being regular like the rest of the women. Like, girl, I thought you went into the service and retired early so you could be my queen now. And now you out here trying to be regular, wearing police attire.
Out here whipping ass.
Yeah. It was like, what? Yeah. And perhaps for him, he probably gave the thumbs up and the okay and support and didn't really think, like, this not the life that I want. And, once she in it, she's like, boy, I'm waiting doing this to retirement, because that's what she's accustomed to.
Absolutely.
And she got those years left in her body. She feeling like but as women, I think sometimes we have to slow down and kind of help direct that show. Like, nah, let us raise our own children, right? Give us a few years to be at home. Let us be part-time in the workplace, and let us sit down and actually plan out, our family and our finances and how we're going to afford certain things. So precious moments don't just pass us by. Because to me, I think what this man is saying is, I don't get to enjoy your beauty. So by the time we get to retirement and we got the money, you know, we out on the islands in Hawaii, you know, now you looking regular. Like,
yep.
the beauty's kind of faded. And it's not to say, you know, she's bad, you know, a bad looking woman, but, you know, the woman that
and
you
the attraction
married,
also fades too, because you both, that resentment builds up and
now
it
you
clouds your
mad as
vision
hell.
too.
That's the other thing, because it doesn't matter, because that's a years of scar tissue that's built up.
You got that layers of that. But if you want it, you know, hopefully, I'm gonna pray for this couple.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that, you know, it's like that little pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and you know, it's just all fairy tales and ponies, you know, at the end of it all.
I hope so too. And I told him, I said, hey man, look at the podcast, and he's part of the podcast.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna shout his name, but you're part of the podcast. I saw it. Thank you. So he said, I gotta find out how to get my life, because at 50, he's like somebody who's 18. Crazy. 50-year-old is in an 18-year-old stage, because somehow, and he told me other things, and I ain't going to talk about it on the podcast, but other things that really held him back, and he thought this was going to change his life, getting married and all that, and it changed it, but not for what he thought. And I also told him communication is key.
How old were they when they got married?
In their 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in their 30s. He's 35 when he got married. I think she's 30. So like a 5-year difference. He's older than she is.
Okay.
So I said, you got to communicate. And that's what a lot of people don't realize.
Well, you got to communicate for the short term and the long term.
Constant communication.
Right? And because if you don't have like that long term conversation, you don't see the family for the long term, and you just live for the short term, and you get like, well, we only got here, and we're still not comfortable. You don't see the overall picture. So that's when stuff gets shaky.
That's the problem in today's world. Everybody wants the quick, the TikTok, that boom, boom, boom,
We're
boom.
in the instant. Yeah.
Instant gratification. I don't give a damn what I got to take a pill, take a shot, take a drink, take whatever I need it now.
Give it to me right now.
You keep wanting to get that rush. Well, if you keep in that rush early, there's nothing later on, because eventually life happens.
Yeah.
And you'll look and say, whoa, you ain't the same person that you used to be. And you're going to say, oh, you're not the same person. But you never communicated, because you were always trying to get that initial high, because that's what you kept going. And that's how you started.
Yep.
So the other thing is, you can't keep saying, oh, this is going to be this way forever. No, it ain't. It's the fucking beginning. It ain't going to be, oh, it's going to be beautiful and it's going to be unicorns and flowers. No. That's a fake reality right there.
I think the issue, though, is, yeah, we sit here and say communication, but I think communication's, like, if the problem had 3 steps, it's like half a step into fixing the problem. The other step and a half is saying compromise. Ooh. That's the hardest thing. I don't care what none of y'all niggas say.
Well, that comes in the planning part. And that is the hardest part.
That is literally the most difficult, and people don't.
I think sometimes it stops the conversations. Yeah. Like, you know what? If we can't compromise on this, we're not even going to handle it, and we're just going to let life take over and play it out.
Oh,
and then that's, again, you get back to that shaky situation, and now you uncomfortable, and now he uncomfortable, and now we uncomfortable around each other, and now I'm looking at you all stank face, and you looking at me stank face because you over there hungry, and I'm over here like, I know he don't think I'm about to make him nothing to eat. I just worked all day long.
Yes.
So now we out here resenting each other. Like, he couldn't even go to the grocery store, and he over there looking at me like, she ain't even go to the grocery store. Like, come on. Now we being petty in the world of Instacart. We arguing about who didn't go to the grocery store. What?
Oh, and let me get you more pettier. He comes in with food and he don't have shit for you. I got my 2 pieces of biscuit.
We got to fight. Nah,
I got my 2 pieces of biscuit.
I'm going to feed that shit to the dog.
You ain't cooking nothing?
Doing?
I'm buying my own shit.
You
get
just
your
went
own.
out for self?
Self.
Wow, that's how shit gets started.
And
yeah, I had one
time.
guy years ago. He sat in my chair and he said to me, you know, he was just talking about his lady friend and you know, their situation in the house, and he was like, I mean, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And he was like, the thing I don't understand about women is, you know, she decided she's gonna stop doing my laundry, specifically mine. Like,
why?
Same reason why you ain't got your own, you know, chicken sandwich, I guess, to live your life for yourself. to alienate. Like, you don't want to do for me, I'm not going to do for you.
Oh, damn.
And what he was saying, it's not going to work like how you want it to work, right? Like, you didn't manipulate the situation in your favor, right?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
He just going to go do his laundry, and eventually he going to go do him. Like, I'm on my way out now. So you thought that you stopped doing his laundry to make him kind of pay attention and pitch in more, so to speak, right? You thought you went out and got your own food to make her like, oh, so if he going to get his own food, I should maybe start cooking for him now. But it's not the right way to go about things. You never get the end result. You only get a girl who's sitting there looking at you like, oh, he couldn't get me something to eat all the times I done made him a meal, and now I come in the house, I'm tired, I'm overworked, and I couldn't, cook for the both of us, and he had the energy enough to go out and get himself a meal, and he couldn't at least get me a meal, and at least he still got clean underwears in his drawer.
I will tell you.
He mad because I didn't cook for him tonight. I do it so well. I'm sorry.
It was perfect.
I'm sorry. I've been mad before.
Yo, I think that's a perfect example though. It's like it's just two people who think like, oh man, fuck that nigga.
Yeah, and fuck each other and think you're gonna get like a better result from the situation, and you're not.
You're gonna
breaking down the situation that you really wanted to build up.
Yeah,
you real life want this girl. You real life want that man.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there talking about, but I'm so tired. Get your ass up. I'm
just saying, like, look, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I'm really tired of making like dinner by myself every night. I don't understand how like people just don't sit there and say, you know what? I'm tired of doing this. I feel like I'm being underappreciated. Like, hey, I would like for you to cook me on, or like take me out to dinner or whatever. Something to balance this shit out.
It goes back to the planning.
Yeah, just balancing it out.
Listen.
Wanting to do it because you guys want to say like, I'm trying to keep a peaceful home. I don't understand people who say, you know what, fuck it, my house is chaos, it'd be all right.
No.
Right? You can't do anything in the chaos.
No. And let me tell you this, T. The one thing that all men, I'm speaking for all men, want when they come home is peace.
No, because sometimes y'all create the chaos. Talking about y'all want peace. Creating shit, stirring shit up. Somebody just wanted peace.
We want peace.
Yeah.
We want to come home after a long day work, taking shit from people we don't like, but we have to. And at least can we come home, walk to the door, get a, hey, how you doing, baby? It's good. Food ready? Cool. And I'm going there, get my little drink and everything. And I ask you how your day going and everything. Cool. Everything all right, cool. Now I like to sit in the chair and just zone out a little bit. Maybe play some gaming, because that's the biggest thing.
Some gaming.
Because that's the big thing now. See, back in the day, it was sit back and let me have a drink and look at TV. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of guys.
They want to come home and game.
And guys that said that to me said, man, can you talk about, why can't I game? My girl keeps saying it's childish.
Why can't I just come in the house and game?
Why can't I just game? Ain't you too old for gaming? Are you too old to do that? And if
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say it like this: women fucking hate when they're not the center of attention. I don't want to hear shit from you, T. I don't want to hear shit from you because you know I'm right. Because you know I'm right. Because you know I'm right. Women hate not being the center of attention. So when you come home, if you are not sitting there staring her in her fucking
just
soul,
for a little bit,
in her
just
soul,
for a little
to
bit,
let her know
just
that she
a little
is
bit.
the apex of your eye right now, then like she gonna make your life hell.
Because I had missed you all day. So, because touch me first. Like, what are you doing?
I said hello, right?
No,
I gave you a hug. I gave you a hug. I want to sit down in front of the PlayStation. No. Let me tell you about my day. Let's talk. I want to see you because I've been looking forward to you all day, and you've been looking forward to the PlayStation all day.
Look how y'all do that.
See?
Wow.
And let me tell you, we get a lot of comments about that. You're like, I love how you fighting for us, but damn. That's calms me down.
I think that was
yes.
phenomenal that we just, uncovered that layer right there.
Yes.
That I've been waiting all day long just to engage you in conversation, tell you 3 times the same story over and over again about what happened at work. I'm going to switch it up just a little bit, but it is the same story, but who cares, right?
True.
And I just want your attention. I do want all of your attention, right? And in theory, in my head, right? Sure, you can come home and get on the video game, right? But I didn't know that you wanted to get on the video game, like more, more than you wanted to see me.
Yeah, let me tell you, these young men and older men.
9 times out of 10, it's the one time of the day where like I can just turn my brain off.
Yeah,
that's why guys enjoy it, because even when I'm with you, my brain has to be on.
But that's what I'm getting to, because I think that I can talk to you while you're playing your video game, but you're
no.
So that's the part that's messing us up.
So then I don't want you to say anything because I'm in the game.
I told you the story 3 times, and you still don't know what happened to my coworker today. What's happening here? What's happening?
Or here's the thing. I'm one of those people who I can play a game and listen.
Okay.
Right?
He's rare.
Yeah.
He's very rare.
I can listen because the game to me becomes mindless.
Okay.
And I can say, okay, I can turn my brain off of this. I can focus on the conversation. I got knocked because I did that. I had a girl I was fucking with in college. She literally cut the television off. I was paying attention to her story. She was explaining how her mother came by to drop off food today, and she dropped off something she didn't want, and she had told her 3 times beforehand she didn't want it. So she was like, I was upset about it. I'm like, damn, that was really fucked up. Like, she really should have just listened to you. I'm engaging in the conversation, right? But I'm not looking at you. She's sitting in my peripheral.
So, he told her to talk to his back.
So I'm like, what's good with you?
Talk to my back. She was like, no, I won't.
That's exactly what it was.
You're
not paying attention to me. You're not looking. You're not like looking at me.
They were young though.
But here's the thing. That's 18.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I can tell.
At 35, 36, 37, niggas are still doing the same shit.
Yes.
That's the problem.
If that's the problem. That's the problem.
It's like you can't recognize that, like, okay, I want to come home and game, you want to come talk to me.
Yeah.
Right? So if that's the issue, if you're like, man, I really want to talk to my man, then you tell him, I know you want to come home and play state. Because that's the thing. Understand that where I'm coming from. Both sides, men and women, understand where the fuck I'm coming from.
Yeah.
First. And then I guarantee you will get whatever the fuck you ask for a second. Coming to somebody and saying, you don't talk to me when you come in the house. Now it's automatically like, I don't do shit for you. I'm going to treat you like ass, blah, blah, blah. Instead of saying, you know what, I know you come home because like when you come home, you want to play a game. I fully understand. I just want to talk to my husband, my boyfriend for like 35, 45 minutes before you go game. Or can you have a set cutoff time so we can spend time together?
Yeah.
And y'all
but
work together.
Most are not willing to do these compromises.
Exactly.
Like
I need to give you my information right now when you come in the door, or I need to game right the fuck down.
I need the mindless behavior right now. Like, I gotta sit down. I gotta sit on the game because I just need to woosah away. And those are the conversations that we really need to have with each other. Like spaces and places where you can't compromise at.
Me time.
Like, yo, hold on. This is me time. Like, no, we're not doing the kids' homework, as soon as they come in the house because I need 45 minutes to game. So you don't start on the kids' homework and I ain't going to start on the kids' homework because I'm going to go do my video gaming thing and whatever because that a lot of times is what's happening as well, right? Absolutely. The woman comes in the house and it's more than just cooking, right? She kind of gets what we say get to work, right? So she comes in the house and now you're moving and grooving, hanging up the kids' jackets or, tending to the little people. Maybe the dogs need to go out for a walk or whatever needs to get done, right? But as the man has now sat down, you done took your load off, then cocked your little shoes off, controller in your hand. Get the hell up and take that damn dog out for a walk. Yeah, and now it's time for the kids to start their little homework, right? Because we're not on the same. So now I'm offended to the point where I'm just like, the audacity.
Doesn't he see all the things that need to get done in this house?
Yeah, and how I just escalated in my own head.
And come to the house and go sit down. Yeah. Instead of saying, you know what, honey, I need assistance for you sit down today.
Yeah.
Before you sit down and you kick your shoes off and relax, we got to take care of A, B, and C because the moment we finish that, I'm done with you for the day.
But in that man's head, he probably a warehouse worker.
Yes.
Be a CEO.
Yes.
From the bottom to the top. He coming in that house heavy.
Girl, I can tell
like she done sat around, nails all cute, walking around all prissy. To him, the woman's life is light. Like, she just come in and I just need to sit down. I've been dealing with all these people.
For a moment. I got to tell you a personal experience. When I was working up in D.C. and came home late, the first thing I said, I just want to come home. I just want to sit down and I just want to have a drink, but something to drink. What I saw when I opened the door was a little person who was at the door when I opened the door. In fact, I could barely open the door. I said, "Son, can you back up? Can you back up?" He was looking at me like, "Dad been gone all day long. Here's fun time." Like, oh God, he's up and he's bright eye and bushy tail.
Yep.
So now, okay, I can take my tie off. He go run on the tie, and I go. Now I know I have to spend time with him.
Yep.
And even though I just want to just sit down and grab a remote and not have nobody say shit to me because I've been talking to people all fucking day.
Yep.
I have to talk to him. I got to talk to the wife. How's your day? Because she's there taking care of him all day. So I have to do that before I went and played Sega Genesis, y'all.
That was the day.
That was back in the day.
Yeah.
Sega Genesis. I had my fun. And then, but I did it. Gave him his bath, do all that. Then after all that, then I can go ahead and truly unwind.
Yep.
But that's a conversation that I had to have. Like, babe, listen, I work all day long. I know you're home. I know you here looking at him all day and all that. But can I at least have some time after I play with him, after we eat, then go have my 40 minutes on the game. But you have to have that conversation. It's not like you're just going to go in and do it because this shit has to be done.
It's, in other words, you're either going to be out of order or you're going to get yourself in order, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to get on the same page. If the issue is, dinner, right? And I'm tired of cooking every night. You might want to cook some of those meals, in the same night.
Can you say that one more time? The issue is what?
Memory lapse. Oh my goodness. Come on.
The issue is dinner, right? Then the issue is not your wife being incompetent as fuck.
No. Oh, okay. So fight the issue. Not the person?
Exactly.
Okay.
The issue is that you hungry. She hungry.
Yeah, we both
How we
hungry.
both going to eat where we neither... So we just brought a factor into the household because niggas are tired of... Meal prep. Niggas are tired of cooking. So we're like, well, how do we all eat and eat decently while still maintaining our workout schedules, while still maintaining our everyday? All right, we might have to invest a couple dollars, but... It makes sure that not everybody has something fresh to eat. Nobody has to complain about what the hell they're going to eat for lunch, for dinner, for whatever, because there's food in the refrigerator. If that's something you need to do, then you go do it. You each pull $100 together. Now y'all got meals for an entire week. Y'all ain't never got to think twice about it. It's expensive, but the trade-off is that it creates peace in your household. If that is the issue, and that's the way you decide to solve it. What ends up happening is they say, well, what the hell I get married for? She's not going to cook. I was like, well, how'd you eat beforehand? I went out. Okay, well, meal prep is a nice in between. It's like going out at home.
It's the idea of having an issue and being willing to work on the issue,
And
whatever
that's
that
the
issue
problem.
is.
Nobody wants to work on it. It's like if it's not solved like that, then divorces are a record high this year that I saw recently. And a lot of people are like, well, she's not doing or he's not doing what he told me or what. Okay, when you stood in front of the church in the state of Maryland or state wherever you got married from, you said do sickness and health and richer and poorer and better or worse. If you are fucking going to break up because of a simple disagreement you can't talk about, then that is always an out. And that's why marriage and any kind of relationship, you have to be able to talk to each other about things that's bothering you. Because if it's bothering you, it ruins the unity and the sanctity of your house.
And don't let it go. Right? So if you're the guy and the woman doesn't budge on the video game thing, right? And so you like, I'm just let it go. I'm not even going to work on, the compromise in the situation because she don't see eye to eye. I'm just do me. Eventually, to just do me going to be the disrespect to her. And because you wasn't, willing to force the situation because you was tired of, kind of rattling, her up, it helped cause a deterioration in the relationship because you let it go.
The flip side of that would be because you didn't want to come to compromise with me when we spoke about it initially. And I tried bringing it up again and you didn't compromise the second time. And I tried bringing it up a third time and you still didn't compromise. Now I'm feeling disrespected.
And
so now I'm going to make you be disrespected.
Happening. And so if you're being disrespected and then that causes deterioration in the relationship, that's valid. Then let the I don't want to be that type of person, but there are certain things that will break a relationship, right? And a lack of compromise on certain things, especially when it, results in disrespect. Nah, it's time to let certain things go. And letting things go will, if somebody wants you enough and they feel like you are worth it, they will recognize that, wow, I didn't have to take it to this level. I think I want them more in my life. With them playing that game or with them doing that to a certain extent, now I can kind of figure out what I'm willing to compromise, because what I don't want is a lack of that person.
Exactly. Or you could get rid of that person and bring another person who don't play video games, but then he barely worked.
Yeah.
That's what
Absolutely.
Yeah,
happens.
like what's the devils that you're willing to deal with?
Yeah.
Okay, he's a great guy. He go to work, but like he games all the time. And that's the thing, like, oh, he's childish. Like, I don't like niggas who play games. Then you go find yourself a nigga who don't play games, but like you say, he doesn't work. Or like, he works, but then he come home and he drank. So now, instead of worrying about the next game release and him maybe being up late at night, he set out the club drunk as fuck.
Yeah.
And now you wondering who he with, because, he in selfies with all these different women and shit. So, like, you got to ask, like, really, is the thing that the person across the table from you doing that damn bad? Like truly.
What they're asking of you, is it something that you really have to be so rigid on that you're willing to let that person go on?
That's
really?
True.
Like dinner? Y'all real life can't figure out dinner in 2023. Instacart, DoorDash, Factor. What is Martha Stewart got one?
Yeah.
Hello Fresh. Yeah.
I mean, it's endless food supplies to where it's like we're still talking about she don't cook. Like, come on, sis. Nobody even wanted to try.
You have to try. Here's the thing. You have to try. There's certain things you said, listen, we both work, we both come home late. Nobody feels like cooking.
Yep.
Unless you put something in the crock pot and let it cook all day. And you only want to do that but so many times during the week. So you got to have another reason. Or don't go out to dinner every day, because that's going to run you about $100 and some odd dollars. So now if you eat out every day, that's $700 a goddamn week just for eating out. So, and everything is expensive. So you want to compromise it. Am I working to eat out, or am I working to just be able to do some things and be able to sit at my home or somewhere and just be able to eat
and
my
then
wife?
you sit down at these tables and you have these conversations and you just say, oh, babe, we spending $700 a week to eat out. Maybe we can reallocate those funds to do something else. Maybe we want to do something else with our money. But you sit down and you talk and you open up that conversation piece on how we can, better take care of each other and enjoy and build the relationship that we actually want. Nah, that's when you got it. I'm living the life that I want. I get to come home and I get to play my video game when I want to. And no, it's not as soon as I walk through the house, because guess what? That don't serve my family.
No.
So now as a man, you got a new perspective from life, And then the same thing with the woman. Like, I'm going to sit on the phone and I'm going to talk to my mom, with my little earbuds in my ear. I'm going to listen to my little Alexa music, when I first come in the house, because, talking to my husband, until his little ears falls off, that it just doesn't serve us, right?
No.
I can talk to him later on.
Exactly. There's a time and a place.
Yeah, so you start picking and choosing and seeing things a little bit different and living your life to serve your family as opposed to just serving your own self, because that's selfish.
That is so true. And it's a part of growing up.
It is.
And the thing is, people don't realize is like, these are childish behaviors we're talking about, because that's what kids do. I don't want to bargain. I want that cookie.
I need all the attention.
I need everything.
And it feels so good to have all the attention. But be real. Like, that man is tired. And you talking about you need for him to look at you. Girl, bye. Girl, bye.
And that's the thing. And once you understand that, hey, he's a person like you're a person. He has needs like you have needs. You wouldn't want nobody to trample on your needs. So why would you trample on his? Because, he should be able to listen to me because I'm this and I'm that.
And it's not to say that we don't have the growing pains.
Yes.
So, like, growing pains, that's valid, right? We've all felt slighted in a certain situation, but what we're saying is be willing to work through the things, be willing to have those open conversations, and stay level-headed enough to receive, the criticism from each other. Like, no, I don't
like,
do
if
that.
that's the person who you quote-unquote love, and that's the person you quote-unquote want to be with for the rest of your life, then you should be able to accept criticism from that same person.
Absolutely.
Yep.
There's somebody I was watching on a podcast said a really good quote, and they were like, the reason I don't really get bothered by the internet is because I don't take advice from people I wouldn't take criticism from.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. And that also goes to stop telling motherfuckers that they ain't got a healthy relationship in their life, your business.
Mm-hmm.
You always want, I'm going to go to such, I'm going to talk to my aunt. I'm going to talk to, no. If that bitch got 5 kids by 6 different men and 20 other situational things going on, what the fuck she know about a healthy relationship?
Yeah.
So again.
Yeah, because you think, she helped me solve problems. Like, yeah. But people are good for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, your mom always helped you with, like, your problems when it comes to dating when you were growing up. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But if you dated 8 or 9 different dudes and none of them just worked out, then maybe you and your mom not really a good collective when it comes to you and dating.
Or if you're spending more time trying to solve and figure out you and your significant other's problems, like you're spending more time with your mom, talking to your mom about them, or your auntie about it, or your cousin about it, than you are like actually talking to him about it, that might be the problem.
Yes.
Y'all not spending enough time talking about the actual problems and how we're going to fix it. You're going
my mom and my cousin or my auntie don't like you. And it's like, well, yeah, because fuck, every time they ever hear anything about me, it's I'm trash.
Yeah. Or no, they're just trash people. Because what type of mature adult believes everything someone says? It's one-sided.
Yes.
Nah, they been ain't like the old boy.
Exactly.
That's why they believe in all that bullshit. Yeah, like, keep it real.
That is so fucking true.
And why would you want to be in a relationship where people don't root for your significant other? Like, on both sides.
That is very true.
Like, if you have a lady and your mama don't like that lady and she's out, like, willing to say it out loud. Like, what type of person is that? Come on.
See, but again, you want to be validated. That's the problem. You know, if you go to them, you're gonna feel validation because they're gonna accept everything I said to them as gospel.
But that's not the right. You want them to validate you when the stuff is hard. When you can't see that woman for all of her great worth, or you can't see that man for everything that he's worth, like, he want me to do everything. I can't stand him.
And and they come at you like, nigga, are you serious type shit? No, and they hold you accountable.
Yeah, like, no, he actually does everything for you, and now you got to actually wash some damn dishes and, cook a chicken, and now you mad as hell, and that man just, paid all the bills and fixed all the tires on the car, and now you mad because you gotta, bake some potatoes and cook some chicken. No, you need people like that, to keep you in perspective. You don't need the people who's on your team telling you, yeah, girl, he ain't worth shit. Huh? But you still staying with him.
Yes, you go right back to him.
Yeah, your baby mother ain't worth shit. What? You distant what?
Mm-hmm.
No, people who's on your team who wants to see your relationships fail and not thrive, you need to run, including your mother. Like, real life.
But that's a hard decision for people. Think what you just said. I have to now stand on my own 2 feet, and I have to go against what my mama told me.
Or your best friend.
Or your best friend. Or people who've been in my life my entire life.
Yeah, watching you make those poor decisions time and time again. And half of the time it's because you had everybody in your business.
Everybody.
And you probably didn't know what you brought to the table.
Exactly. You probably sold them all this. You really didn't bring much. In fact, you probably didn't even bring a fork. Maybe some napkins, but everything else he put on the table. And then I got a fork.
Yeah, you came to eat.
You can't eat shit with a fork. You can lick the fork, but you can't eat nothing off this table because you didn't bring anything.
Yeah.
But we're bringing everything to this table. Everything we got. We're not holding some chips on the side.
Or you showing up the tables where the man didn't. You ain't bring much and he ain't bring much. And now instead of you looking to grow with somebody, because you don't have much. You don't have much. But instead of you looking to grow with somebody, you looking at him like, when you going to go get it? When will it be here?
And T, that's great you said that. The whole conversation about high value men and all that, I hear those discussions for years. Can we just go for the guy who's a bus driver, the guy who's a construction worker, the guy who's just want to work every day and come home, have a peace of mind? He's not making 100,000. He's maybe making 40, 50. But that man will bust his ass and will do anything in the world for you. But you look at him based on, he only bringing a muffin to the table. I need more than a muffin. Motherfucker, you ain't got shit to eat right now, but he's willing to give you his muffin.
Well, remember, the high value man of today, right? Giving one child outside of y'all relationship, and that little 6 figures going to start doing something different, y'all. So
to get that confused.
Yeah. I mean, that lady on those side pieces costs money. So I'm just saying, when you talk about a high value man, right? You talk about a man who's a little more well kept, right? So he spends more of his own money, right? Somebody who's, making about 85, 65 and under, right? They're not splurging. Nope. A little less spending on oneself. So normally the woman looks a little better well kept than the man does, right?
Absolutely.
Now, it might be a little bit more money in certain situations, depending on that situation.
Exactly. Yeah. And you have to not discount all these guys, because again...
No, because they're only where they're at.
Exactly.
Not where they're going to end at.
There you go. And what did we say before? That 1% guy, or less 1% guy, it's like you hitting the damn lottery. It's like you hitting the $1 billion lottery ticket. In fact, you may have a better chance of doing that.
Oh, the super high value guys.
Yeah,
you're saying again, those are the 1%ers.
Oh yeah, they're definitely 1%.
Yeah, no, if you're not hanging out with those guys and you didn't go to school with them, then what? I mean, what you going? Again, we don't have nothing in common. Like we don't hang out in the same bars. We don't go to the same restaurants. We don't do anything. We don't even speak the same language. Or
we don't have the same people. Like you said, none of that. We're totally in different levels.
Yep.
So you're trying to get into a level that's actually kind of impossible to get into.
Yep.
But you discount all the good guys.
You do. The guys who are in real life going to sit back and enjoy your parents.
Yes.
Right? Who are going to actually want to sit there and show up for Sunday dinner. Who are going to actually, your mother get old, your grandmother get old. They're going to show up and help you pick your grandmother up. Like, nah, babe, where your grandmother need to go, I'm going to ride with you because, I know she needs somebody to help move her around. That's the guy who's going to do that.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
And so strive for that guy. Look at that guy. They're out there. And there's in the comments constantly
Stop
saying...
being shallow. And just get to know some guys. Just get to date. Yeah.
Date these guys. Don't
take a few benefits off the table. Stop adding on them benefits. And like we said on the last show.
Yes.
And just get to know people genuinely. And get to know your damn self.
And with that, we're going to end this episode of On the Mic with the M.
And T.
Listen, people, you know what you need to do? Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. And hit the little bell so you can get all the newest podcasts out there. Until next time, peace and blessings.